Once celebrated as loyal companions, pit bulls have now become one of the most feared breeds in the world. But how did this transformation happen? Today, we're uncovering the dark and heartbreaking history of the pit bull, a story of violence, exploitation, and misunderstanding. The story of the pit bull begins in the 19th century, when the breed was initially developed in England for blood sports like bull baiting. Bred for strength and tenacity, these dogs were used to attack bulls in cruel arenas, often leading to horrific scenes of violence. Their power and courage made them the ideal choice for these brutal events. But when blood sports were banned, their purpose shifted, and not for the better. When blood sports were outlawed in 1835, pit bulls found themselves used in illegal dogfighting rings, a dark chapter in their history. Dogfighting became a lucrative underground sport, and pit bulls, with their relentless drive and muscular build, were the perfect candidates for this grim arena. Owners would train these dogs in isolation, often beating or starving them to fuel their aggression. This brutal conditioning turned pit bulls into some of the most feared dogs on the planet. Their natural loyalty and strength were exploited by humans, turning them into fighting machines. Despite their violent beginnings, pit bulls found a different identity when they were brought to America. In the early 1900s, they were known as nanny dogs for their loyalty and gentle nature around children. One of the most iconic pit bulls in history, Sergeant Stubby, became a war hero during World War I, saving soldiers from mustard gas attacks and even capturing a German spy. In Hollywood, pit bulls starred in movies like Our Gang, where Petey the Pit Bull became a beloved household name. But everything changed in the 1980s, when the breed's darker past came back to haunt them. In the 1980s, the American media latched onto stories of pit bull attacks, sparking a wave of fear and panic. Reports of pit bull bites, often exaggerated or misreported, led to the breed being vilified. Headlines labeled them as ticking time bombs. And soon, cities across the United States began enacting breed-specific legislation, banning pit bulls in an attempt to curb attacks. This media frenzy would leave a permanent scar on the breed's reputation. The media portrayal fueled public fear and led to the widespread banning of pit bulls in many areas. Breed-specific legislation, or BSL, quickly spread as a solution to the supposed pit bull problem. Cities began banning pit bulls outright, forcing owners to give up their pets and move to areas where the breed wasn't outlawed. But studies have shown that BSL does little to reduce dog attacks overall, and the focus on banning breeds rather than addressing irresponsible ownership has caused more harm than good. Pit bulls, no matter how well trained or gentle, became victims of these sweeping laws. Statistics and reports show that breed bans haven't significantly reduced incidents, and other dogs have been misidentified as pit bulls in attack reports. Despite the stigma, many organizations and individuals have fought to save and rehabilitate pit bulls. Animal shelters across the country are overflowing with pit bulls, many of whom are loving, gentle pets, cast aside because of public fear. Nonprofits like the ASPCA and Best Friends Animal Society work tirelessly to rehome pit bulls and show the world their true nature. Even dogs rescued from fighting rings, like the famous Vic dogs, have been successfully rehabilitated into loving family pets. Heartwarming stories of rescued pit bulls who found new, peaceful lives after being rescued from violent situations illustrate their potential for love and companionship. The story of the pit bull is one of both tragedy and hope. While they have been used, abused, and misunderstood for centuries, there is a growing movement to restore their reputation. The pit bull's loyalty, courage, and affection are still present, and with responsible ownership and training, they can be as loving as any other breed.